Challenge, episode 4. Right, so I think I've finally got rid of the services harassing me. I don't know why. It's because I'm starting to be a bit frank about their behaviour that doesn't have a judgment on it, because they are the judgment. Well, they're not going to get away with me because it's too important. If judgment becomes something superficial, then we can't resolve anything. The other thing I was dealing with was how so the negative increase took all 6,000 years to elapse. So therefore the positive increase will take 6,000 years as well. So we're not going to be in space anytime soon. We'll be back in space where we left space. That's the P and N balance. And the other thing is more complaints about authority, really. Because they have called people things for so long, they just keep calling them these things, whether they're these things or not, and then people get caught in a cycle of judgment. Quickly though, like I say, criminals do the same back to the authority, which they do. So people that are looked after by the government do it back. But either way, the cycle continues and it's not realistic. But what I'm annoyed about is that what I went through as a baby and then a growing adult is all the greatest authority projecting on me to call me things, right down to the core of the disgusting behaviour of the woman that penetrated us to leave us here. And it means they are literally projecting some of the raw sort of default to paedophilic here energy at me, and trying to sort of like fuck about with that idea without saying too much, to let me condemn myself so I can't say more over their various comforts they get to keep for being the rulers of the world, which is just drugs and sex. It's not anything else more exciting and more credible. And that's what's pissing me off. That if I was to say paedophilia to all of them, they know that's cheeky, that there's even a word for it and certain names that have been attributed to it, because they have been using it as a tool to condemn people that want to tell the truth more than they can in comfort to what they exploit to live with. Because it is exploit, whether they mean it or not themselves. It's exploit, isn't it? You know, what you do at work and what someone gets paid for it. Of course, you can't work without them there, but there's just a certain thing lately about the craze of corrupt power, and I want to talk about it because I am not the corrupt power, and I am the ultimate power. Because I keep saying yes to everything for everyone the most successfully. But I don't have anyone else on my level to acknowledge this and know this is happening. So I end up literally the bottom of the pile just to keep this going. And later I accept some of my peers experience some of this as people get younger and less experienced. But at the moment they're the ones that are causing major problems, because these more innocent ones can't even do that much, can they? Because they live in such a concentration of the process. And it means they're taking less drugs and sex and being penetrative and being critical and being violent. But it doesn't even really, not even something they can do or they consider, and that more limited nature, just to make ends meet in a small place. You know, they don't play songs that have got bad Christians in them, they don't go on telly and say ignorant shit, they don't get drunk in pubs more than everyone else. They're not the problem, more, at least on that level, than the old people are, who just get stressed or accused of things and start playing up to the detriment of everything. Yeah. I successfully just did a vegan shop at Aldi, loaded up on various meat emulations, to be honest, but they're all vegan. I've got my almond milk with my cereal, and I've got my coconut or plant-based spread to replace butter, and Marmite's vegan, so that's good. So I should be able to do that, really. Like I said, cheese and dairy and milk aren't good, You put a part of that cow inside of you, and you both go a bit doolally from it, you know, and the cow can't stop you doing that. We've got to stop doing that to free the cow. So I wouldn't say even that we talk about mental illness, whilst being mental, is the truth. Mental illness is going to be something about people that eat a lot of meat and a lot of dairy. I think are going to be less mentally sane, because there's no way they can process their own life if they're always eating other people's. But even further than that, even eating plants is still taking something that's not meant to be inside of you. It still causes mental illness or that lack of less function, I guess, to care and do things. It's all part of the deep poison still, because we're only 37 years and a bit past it. There's only so much you can do on this planet anyway, because this planet represents the worst part of it. What part of planet Earth isn't just eat this and eat that all the time? And you can eat with words as well. You can eat with your impression. If you walk down the street and say you are you over someone, if you say it long enough, you can start believing it with parts of them inside of you, and the better person becomes the worst person. There's nothing good about Earth, but it's a mortality promotion. Past that, otherwise it's where we live still, and we are still good to a limit for obviously anything to ever happen in a successfully shared way. But yeah, it's going to be slow then. But you know, 100 years is a long time. 100 years into it will still represent something quite a lot more moral somehow. You know, I think if you want to bring up anything, we'll say on one layer, because how deep does immorality go if this is the worst layer? If you want to talk about consumption in a positive way anymore, you're going to be a bit mental. And nobody's going to agree with you the same way. We're just going to get the basics down. Because don't you want to live? If you keep eating, you're just killing yourself and each other. And we're only 12,000 and this period old. And nobody's lived a long time yet. But we're going to be infinite. We're always going to be here. 0 negativity, 100 positivity is what it will always be once it is. Because theft doesn't define us definitively. It just defines us now, while she's still taking what she can of all our stuff for so long. It will represent 12,000 years of stuff she's made us live herself. We shouldn't have to. Bobby's Challenge, episode 4 over.